State lawmakers have proposed hundreds of anti-LGBTQ bills so far this year. Many of these bills are targeted at the minority of Americans who are transgender. Pew estimates that 5% of young adults are trans or non-binary, and the Williams Institute estimates that just 1.4% of young adults and just 0.5% of adults are trans. But here are the numbers. In 2023, approximately 556 anti-trans bills have been introduced in 49 states. 86 of those bills have passed, 105 have failed, and 365 are still active. What's most heartbreaking is that a majority of these bills target trans kids. Conservatives are trying to ban bathrooms, sports, and healthcare for trans children. They're trying to ban even mentioning LGBTQ people in books or classrooms. And let's be clear, most Americans do not support these anti-trans bills. They have other things to worry about. But it is true that anti-trans violence and sentiment is increasing. Perhaps what's most surprising is that despite the corporate rainbow logos and merchandise you may see this Pride Month, and despite the anti-LGBTQ movement using similar fear-mongering tactics that they've used in the past, companies are caving this time. During previous anti-LGBTQ waves in the recent past, select companies have stepped up. The CEO of GLAAD told my coworker Pavitra Mohan, quote, "In 2016, there was a great momentum around CEOs and companies speaking out against anti-LGBTQ legislation, and it was really effective at those moments in time. But now, quote, we haven't seen companies standing up as much as we would like." And I lived through California's 2008 Prop 8 controversy. I saw firsthand the role that companies like Apple played in pushing back against harmful legislation. But today, companies that once took strong stances on behalf of LGBTQ people are floundering. For instance, Bud Light sent trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney a personalized can, and then they completely caved to a violent transphobic mob that was posting videos of them shooting Bud Light cans with machine guns. AB InBev actually apologized to the mob, and then they put 2 marketing execs on leave. But as my colleague Jeff Beer points out, Bud Light has pushed pride messaging for decades, quote, "So the brand and company has already told us where it stands, but this latest month-long retreat and silence undermines any and all previous efforts. And any future pride or inclusion work just looks like another opportunistic marketer co-opting a movement." And Target has historically been one of the biggest advocates of LGBTQ causes. In the past, they really bravely pushed back against bills banning trans people from using public bathrooms, and they sell a ton of campy pride merch. This year, Target says there's been an uptick in violent incidences, as well as reports of customers removing pride merchandise from shelves and throwing it on the floor. And so instead of condemning those people, they've decided to remove some of the merchandise. As the Fast Company team has investigated, Starbucks workers report that stores in at least 21 states are banning pride merchandise. Starbucks corporate team insists that nothing has changed, but messaging from store managers suggests otherwise. Amara Jones, founder and CEO of Translash Media, says that what we're seeing is a distinction between performative and actual corporate allies. I actually have a lot of sympathy for decision makers right now. I can understand why Target leaders wouldn't want to put their workers in harm's way. But all I can add is that this current, admittedly terrifying wave is being felt most by kids. And so for them, we need to do better and we need to be brave.